Hey guys, so today I wanted to talk about life purpose and the nodes of the moon and Pluto and how you can look at those planets and points in your chart to find out your life purpose, your past life, and the evolution of reaching those goals and learning those lessons in your life. So let's start with the north node and the south node of the moon. So the nodes of the moon, they tell us what lessons that you learned in your past life and what lessons that you need to learn in this life. So your south node of the moon, the sign and house that resides in, that all describes who you were in your past life, what you learned already, the things that you've mastered, and things that you are pretty confident in now. The north node of the moon tells us what lessons that you need to learn right now here in this life in order for you to evolve. So the south node of the moon is your past life and the north node of the moon is your current life right now. So with the south node of the moon, those are like all of your very comfortable things that you feel comfortable doing. You've already learned those lessons. You already know what's up with that. You don't really need to learn too much about it anymore. And what happens with the south node is that we can kind of regress back to it sometimes, getting a little too comfortable when it's like, you know, when you feel like you're a little stuck in life and you feel like you're just making the same mistakes over and over again, you're probably still stuck in those south node tendencies and you need to move past that. It's never an easy journey. It's never an easy journey from going from your south node to your north node, but it is very, very essential in your growth and in your development. So the north node, that's basically like your challenge. This is where you need to go. This is what your soul is here to learn right now on this earth. These are the lessons that you are going to learn this time around, hopefully. But this is what your soul is striving to do. This is where you're going. These are the lessons that you need to learn this time around. So the sign in the node position will tell you how you're going to go about doing this, and the house is going to tell you where in your life this is going to take place. So when you're looking at the nodes in your chart, there are a few important points that you want to look at. First of all, you want to look at your chart and look at the aspects, and you want to see if there are any squares to your north node or your south node. Squares are very challenging, like many of you know who have looked at a birth chart, who are pretty experienced with birth charts. Squares are challenging, but they are very important because they indicate lessons of sacrifice and they also indicate skipped steps here. Okay, so if you see in your chart, for example, if you have Venus square your north node, this right here will indicate a lesson of sacrifice, and it will also indicate that you have skipped a step in your past life in regards to Venus, that planet, that energy. You've skipped a step there. So those skip steps are lessons that you were supposed to learn in your past life, but you didn't learn. Skip steps, they carry over into this life, and they become a harsh lesson for you to learn in this life because you skipped over it last time, and now it's going to come back a little more harsh for you to really understand it and make sure that you get past it and that you don't mess it up this time. It's going to really be an area of focus for you if you have a square to your north or south node. So there are a couple of exceptions to skip steps, and those exceptions are with your ascendant, your rising sign, and with the sun sign. So if you look in your chart, if you look at your aspects and you see that your sun is square your north node or south node, or if you see that your rising sign, your ascendant, is square your north node or south node, this doesn't indicate a skip step in your past life. This doesn't indicate a skip step in your past life, but it indicates a potential skip step in this life, okay? So if you see sun or ascendant square your north node or south node, this indicates a potential skip step. It hasn't happened yet for you, hopefully, and hopefully it doesn't happen for you, okay? These are lessons of great importance, and they may be subtle or they may be very challenging, and it may be something that you keep messing up over and over again in your life, and there's like a certain feeling of making the same mistake over and over and over again. That can be the type of feeling that you're getting when you have your ascendant or your sun square one of the nodes. So it's repeating those things for you so you can make sure that you hone in on it and try to fix it, so you don't have to go back in your next life and have to come back and resolve the same step. So another important thing you want to look at in regard to the nodes is you want to look at if there are any conjunctions to the nodes. Conjunctions with the north node and south node to any planet will trigger kind of a push and pull effect. It will trigger an issue in regards to your north nodes or south node. It's not an easy path when you have a conjunction to your north or south node, because there will be a lot of triggers happening for you. So for example, let's say your sun is conjunct your north node, but your sun is also conjunct Mercury. So in that case, your sun and Mercury will have an effect on the north node. It will all play into each other, and all of those energies will probably trigger some issue, trigger that key issue surrounding your north node. Or let's say your moon is square your north node, but your moon is also conjunct with Venus and Mars. So if we say it that way, then your moon is square your north node, but Venus and Mars are also going to be affected because the moon is conjunct with those planets as well. So all of those planets are in turn going to be affected. So we have your north and your south node, your north node being what lessons you need to learn right now in this life, and your south node being those lessons that you've already learned, that you are comfortable with already. And this all plays into your life purpose, who you were, who you are, who you're becoming, what lessons need to be learned here, and how to get to fulfilling that life purpose, fulfilling your destiny. And when uncovering the life purpose, we also look at Pluto as well. Pluto in your chart will indicate your past desires, your past thoughts, your past perceptions, your past values, and the wisdom that you acquired in your past life. The sign and house placement of Pluto will tell you what type of wisdom that you acquired in your past life, or what type of values you had, or what type of thoughts you had in regards to your past life. These are things that you've already evolved through, and now your soul is pretty acquainted with these traits, acquainted with these values, these thoughts, this wisdom, and now your soul instinctively knows these things and is ready to share them with the world. There is also something called the Pluto polarity point, or the PPP. So what this is in your chart is the exact opposite point of where Pluto is in your chart. So if you're looking at the birth chart wheel, let's say Pluto is right here, your Pluto polarity point would be the exact opposite point. The Pluto polarity point is your evolutionary desire. This is the point through which you will solve your north node problems and your past life problems. You will work together with your north node, understanding it and knowing where you're supposed to be going, and you will use this Pluto polarity point to get you to where you need to go, your evolution, your evolutionary goal. So your Pluto polarity point is where you will solve those past life issues and evolve toward your north node. So breaking it down, we have the north node and the south node of the moon, your north node being the lessons that you are here to learn, the south node being the lessons that you have already learned in your past life, the ones that you are comfortable with. And we have Pluto, which is your past desires, your past thoughts, values, the things that you have mastered, all the wisdom you acquired. And then we have the Pluto polarity point, which is your evolutionary desires, where you want to go now, where the evolution of your soul, what you really want. And that Pluto polarity point will lead you to completing the lessons from your north node. So the south node and Pluto represent your past life. What house they are in determines your evolutionary progress in your past life. So let's say that your south node was in the 10th house and your Pluto placement was in the 5th house. you would learn those lessons from the 10th house related to your career and your public image through applying 5th house activities, which is having fun, enjoying pleasures of life, children, joy, risk taking, or gambling, things like that. So all of these things come naturally to you in this life because you have already experienced them in your past life. So all of the career related things and things related to joy and fun experiences and pleasures, you're already pretty solid on all of those things in this life because that is what you were already working on in your past life. Like right now in this life, if you have this placement, maybe you work with kids because 10th house is career and 5th house relates to children. So maybe you work with kids, or maybe you work as a music artist, or maybe you are a dancer or a performer, 5th house activities, all for work though. So maybe you do one of these things in this life right now because it just comes so naturally to you. But you need to remember that this is no longer your lesson to be learned. This is something that you are here to pass on to other people. Lead by example. Show people that they can have fun while working. Show people that they can love their job. This is something that you are here to pass on, to teach the lessons of the 10th and 5th house to other people and show them that they can do these things too. So your North Node and your Pluto polarity point, they are this life right now, here in this moment. That's what they represent and that's what they indicate. So when looking at that, it shows you how you can evolve past your past life issues and evolved into these new lessons and learning these new lessons and helping your soul to really evolve and live your life's purpose and your destiny, like what you're here to do. And again, your houses will determine how you do this. So the house that your North Node is in and the house that your Pluto polarity point is in. So if your North Node is in the 7th house and your Pluto polarity point is in the 11th house, for example. So if your North Node is in the 7th house, your lesson to be learned is to commit to others. Whether it be a relationship, a business partnership, you may be so independent naturally that now in this life, it's time for you to learn how to commit, how to give your heart to somebody completely without wanting anything in return. Committing to a relationship is your life lesson. And you may do this through your Pluto polarity point, 11th house activities, which is friends, hopes and wishes, social circles, things like that, humanitarian interest. So maybe you meet your partner, 7th house, through one of your friends or in a social gathering, a social circle, or a humanitarian event, some type of event or cause, which is 11th house activities. Or your partner could even be somebody who really inspires you and helps you to achieve your independent goals. There's somebody who really wants to see you succeed and helps you reach those goals, which is an 11th house thing, goals. This will help you feel empowered in your relationship and push you towards learning those North Node lessons and fulfilling your life purpose. This is just one example, but the key to discovering your life purpose and your destiny is to look at your South Node, look at Pluto. This is your past life, where you have been, what you're comfortable doing. And then you will take that and you will look at your North Node and you will look at your Pluto polarity point, where you're going, where you're at right now, the things that you need to learn. You will see where your soul needs development and how it's going to evolve, where you need to evolve. Also, remember to look at those aspects. Make sure you look at the aspects to the North Node, the South Node, Pluto. You won't see any aspects really to the Pluto polarity point because it's not really used very frequently, but it's just another point that is very effective in determining where you're going with your life purpose and your destiny. But you won't really see it in your chart. That's something that you will have to find, or your astrologer will have to find for you. But look at those aspects. Look to see if there's any squares. Look to see if there's any conjunctions. What type of aspects are making relationships with the North Node, with the South Node, or with Pluto, and that will determine how things will manifest for you regarding your life purpose and your destiny. So that is a little about the nodes of the moon and Pluto and how you can use them and look at them in your chart to determine your life purpose and your destiny. And I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and if you would like to find out what your life purpose is, if you don't want to go through all that, you can always go to my website and book a reading with me. I would be very happy to do a life purpose reading for you. I'm very passionate about them, and I would love to help you discover who you are, who you were, where you're going, and what you are here to do in this life, you guys. So thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you guys.